Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's discussion. We are tackling a significant question that sparks debate in many societies. Should all citizens be required to perform a year of public service? It's a proposal with profound implications for individual lives and the fabric of our communities. Some see it as a pathway to a more engaged and unified citizenry, while others view it as an imposition on personal freedom. Tonight we have two distinguished guests to explore this complex issue. Arguing in favor of mandatory public service is Sarah, a passionate advocate for community engagement. And arguing against the proposal is Mark, a staunch defender of individual liberties and choice. Welcome to you both. Our debate will proceed as follows. Opening statements from each speaker, followed by rebuttals. Then I'll pose a question to each of our guests before they deliver their closing statements. Let's begin with Sarah's opening statement.
Thank you, Alex. Good evening. I firmly believe that requiring a year of public service from all citizens is not a burden, but an investment in our nation's future, our communities, and ourselves. Firstly, let's consider the immense potential for fostering national unity and social cohesion. In our increasingly diverse and sometimes fragmented societies, a shared experience of service can act as a powerful bridge. Imagine young people from all walks of life, different economic backgrounds, social circles, and geographical regions, working side by side on projects that benefit the common good. This isn't just about completing tasks. It's about understanding one another, breaking down stereotypes, and forging bonds that transcend superficial differences. This shared experience cultivates a sense of collective identity and mutual respect, which are fundamental for a truly cohesive society. It allows individuals to see beyond their immediate circles and appreciate the broader tapestry of our nation. Secondly, the personal development benefits for participants are undeniable. A year of dedicated service offers unparalleled opportunities for skill development. We're talking about practical skills, yes, but also crucial soft skills like teamwork, leadership, problem solving, and discipline. Attributes that are highly valued in any career path and in life generally. Moreover, public service nurtures character. It instills a profound sense of civic responsibility, empathy, and an understanding of the challenges faced by others. It can be a transformative experience, helping young people discover their passions, strengths, and their capacity to make a difference. Many young individuals might not otherwise encounter situations that push them to develop such resilience or a broader perspective on societal issues. This period can be a crucible for personal growth. Thirdly, and crucially, mandatory public service can directly address pressing societal needs. There are numerous areas where our communities require support: environmental conservation projects, support for the elderly or those with disabilities, mentoring programs for at-risk youth, disaster relief efforts, and so much more. A structured public service program could channel the energy and talents of our citizens to fill these gaps, supplementing the work of existing organizations and government agencies. This isn't about replacing paid workers, but enhancing the capacity to deliver essential services and improve the quality of life for everyone. Think of the collective impact: cleaner parks, better care for vulnerable populations, stronger community initiatives. It's a way to harness our human capital for the direct betterment of society. My vision is of a society where contributing to the common good is a normal and expected part of growing up, where citizens are more connected to each other and to the needs of their communities. A year of public service can be the cornerstone of such a society. It's about creating active, engaged citizens who understand their role and responsibility in a democratic society, not just as beneficiaries, but as contributors. This experience would shape a generation more attuned to civic duty and collective well-being.
Thank you, Alex. While I appreciate Sarah's idealistic vision, I must stand firmly against the concept of mandatory public service. primarily because it represents a significant infringement upon individual liberty. In a free society, individuals should have the sovereign right to choose their own path, their education, their career, and how they spend their formative years. Compelling citizens to dedicate a year to government-mandated service, regardless of their personal aspirations or circumstances, is a step too far. This isn't service, it's conscription, and it borders on the principle of forced labor, which is antithetical to the values of freedom and autonomy that we cherish. People should be inspired to serve, not compelled. Furthermore, the practical challenges and inherent inefficiencies of implementing such a massive program are staggering. Consider the sheer logistics, creating, managing, and funding meaningful placements for every single young citizen. This would require an enormous bureaucratic apparatus. Where would these placements be? Who would supervise them? How would we ensure quality control and prevent it from becoming a year of unproductive, box-ticking exercises for many? The potential for mismanagement and wasted resources is immense. There's a real danger that many young people would be assigned to roles that don't match their skills or interests, leading to disengagement and a feeling that their time is being squandered. Meaningful service cannot be mass-produced by government decree. Then there's the negative economic impact, both for the individuals and the wider economy. Forcing young people to delay their education or entry into the workforce by a year can have significant consequences. This lost year could mean deferred earnings, a slower start to their careers, and a disruption to their educational momentum. For those pursuing highly specialized fields, an interruption could be particularly detrimental. Moreover, the cost to the taxpayer for funding such a universal program, stipends, administration, training, would be astronomical. Are we certain this is the most efficient use of public funds to achieve the stated goals of community improvement or skill development? I envision a society that champions voluntary service, where individuals are encouraged and empowered to contribute in ways that align with their passions and talents. There are countless nonprofit organizations and community groups already doing fantastic work, driven by genuine commitment, not by government mandate. Let's support and expand these voluntary avenues, rather than imposing a one-size-fits-all obligation that undermines personal freedom and risks becoming a costly, bureaucratic exercise. True civic engagement stems from choice, not coercion. The focus should be on fostering an environment where people want to contribute, offering incentives and opportunities for those who choose to dedicate their time, rather than penalizing those who believe their contribution to society lies elsewhere.
Mark raises the concern of individual liberty, and I understand that hesitation. However, citizenship in a democratic society comes with both rights and responsibilities. We accept many civic duties, like paying taxes or serving on a jury, because they are essential for the functioning of our society. Mandatory public service can be framed not as coercion, but as another fundamental contribution that citizens make to the collective well-being. It's about fostering a culture where giving back is an integral part of belonging to a community. The idea isn't to force people into labor against their will in a punitive sense, but to create a structured opportunity for them to engage constructively with their society, an experience many might not seek out but would ultimately find rewarding. Regarding the practical challenges Mark highlighted, these are not insurmountable. Many countries have successfully implemented various forms of national service. It would require careful planning, of course, and a commitment to creating diverse and meaningful placements. We could offer a wide range of options, allowing individuals some choice in the area of service that aligns with their interests or career aspirations, from environmental work to social care, education support, or even roles within public administration or arts and culture initiatives. A phased rollout could allow us to learn and adapt, ensuring efficiency and quality. Furthermore, partnering with existing nonprofit organizations and local government bodies could leverage their expertise and infrastructure, rather than building an entirely new bureaucracy from scratch. Mark also spoke of a, quote, lost year. I would argue it's a found year. The skills, experience, and maturity gained during a year of service would make young people more prepared for higher education or the workforce, not less. Employers increasingly value soft skills, real-world experience, and a demonstrated commitment to community. This year would enhance a young person's resume and broaden their horizons, ultimately outweighing any perceived short-term disruption. It's an investment that pays dividends in more capable and engaged citizens.
Sarah speaks of national unity, but I question whether forcing people from diverse backgrounds to work together under duress truly builds genuine cohesion. True understanding and respect are built on voluntary interaction and shared interests, not mandated proximity. There's a significant risk that such a system could breed resentment among those who feel their time is being mismanaged, or that the service is not meaningful. You can't force camaraderie. It has to develop organically. If the placements are seen as unfulfilling or poorly organized, it could actually foster cynicism about public service rather than enthusiasm for it. The quality of the experience is paramount, and ensuring that on a mass, compulsory scale is a Herculean task. Sarah also suggests that public service develops skills and character. While I don't dispute that service can do that, I believe these attributes are often better and more effectively developed through voluntary pursuits that individuals choose for themselves. Someone passionate about coding will develop incredible skills and discipline by working on a challenging software project they chose, not by being assigned to plant trees if that's not their interest. Passion drives excellence and personal growth. Similarly, character is built through facing challenges and making choices in all aspects of life, including education, part-time jobs, sports, or artistic endeavors that individuals pursue based on their own motivations. To suggest that only state-mandated service can build character is, I think, a disservice to the myriad ways young people already grow and contribute. My concern remains that if service is mandatory and on a massive scale, the quality and meaningfulness of many placements will inevitably be diluted. It risks becoming a system where the primary goal is simply to process numbers, rather than to provide genuinely valuable experiences for the participants or significant benefits for the recipients of the service. The focus should remain on enhancing and promoting voluntary service opportunities, ensuring they are well-resourced and accessible, so that those who are genuinely motivated can find fulfilling ways to contribute, leading to higher quality outcomes for everyone involved.
Thank you both for those robust rebuttals. Sarah, Mark raised significant concerns about the economic impact of what he termed a, quote, a lost year and the potential disruption to education or early career paths. How would you specifically design a public service program to ensure young people aren't ultimately disadvantaged economically or professionally?
That's a valid concern, Alex. Firstly, the program could be structured to offer skills and experiences that are directly transferable and highly valued by employers and academic institutions. Certifications could be awarded upon completion, formally recognizing the skills gained. Secondly, the timing could be flexible. For example, it could be an option after secondary school, or perhaps even integrated as a, quote, service learning year within higher education for certain fields. Some might choose to do it before university, others during or after a first degree. Furthermore, a living stipend should be provided, ensuring that participants are not financially penalized, particularly those from lower income backgrounds. We could also explore partnerships with industries to create service roles that act as apprenticeships or pathways into certain careers, turning that lost year into a launch year.
Thank you, Sarah. Mark, Sarah has consistently emphasized the significant societal needs that could be met by a dedicated core of public service participants, from environmental work to social care. If not through mandatory service, how else can these pressing needs be effectively addressed on the large scale she envisions, especially when voluntary efforts, while valuable, may not be sufficient to cover all gaps?
Alex, it's a crucial question. My primary approach would be to significantly bolster support for the voluntary sector and social enterprises. This means more government funding, grants, and resources for organizations already on the ground, doing effective work, We can also create stronger incentives for volunteering, perhaps tax breaks for individuals who dedicate significant hours, or formal recognition programs that enhance career prospects. We could also better integrate community service opportunities within our education system as optional, credited modules. Furthermore, for specific pressing needs, targeted government programs that employ people in those sectors with fair wages and professional development are often more efficient and effective than relying on a temporary and potentially less skilled or motivated compulsory workforce. It's about strategic investment and fostering a culture of giving, not mandating it.
Tonight, I've argued that a year of mandatory public service is a transformative initiative with the power to unite our nation, develop our citizens, and address critical societal needs. It's about fostering a deeper understanding among people from all walks of life, breaking down barriers, and building genuine social cohesion through shared experience and purpose. The personal growth, the skills, the discipline, the empathy gained during such a year would equip our young people for brighter futures, making them more engaged and capable members of society. It's an investment in human capital that will pay long-term dividends for both the individual and the country. And let's not forget the tangible benefits to our communities, the environmental projects completed, the vulnerable citizens cared for, the community initiatives strengthened. These are not abstract ideals. They are real improvements to the quality of life for everyone. I envision a society where service is not seen as a burden, but as a proud rite of passage, a common thread that binds us together. It's a society where citizens are not just passive observers, but active participants in shaping a better future. This is not about diminishing freedom. It's about enriching it with a sense of collective responsibility and shared purpose. By asking everyone to contribute, we affirm the value of each citizen and the strength of our interconnectedness. Let us choose a path that builds a stronger, more compassionate, and more unified nation.
Throughout this debate, I've highlighted the fundamental reasons why mandatory public service, despite its well-intentioned aims, is a flawed concept. It represents a serious infringement on individual liberty, compelling citizens into a path not of their choosing and potentially disrupting their education and career aspirations. The practical hurdles of implementing such a program efficiently and meaningfully for every citizen are immense, risking a costly bureaucratic exercise with questionable outcomes. We must ask if this is truly the best use of public funds and young people's valuable time. The potential economic downsides, the lost year for individuals, and the overall burden on the taxpayer cannot be easily dismissed. There are more effective and less coercive ways to achieve societal goals. I believe in the power of individual choice and the profound impact of voluntary contributions. A society that encourages and supports voluntary service, that empowers individuals to find their own ways to contribute based on their passions and skills, will ultimately be stronger and more vibrant. Let us champion freedom, personal responsibility, and the efficiency of targeted solutions over a one-size-fits-all mandate. True civic virtue cannot be legislated. It must be cultivated through inspiration and opportunity, not compulsion. Let's foster a culture of voluntary engagement, not mandated obligation.
And with that, we conclude tonight's debate. My sincere thanks to both Sarah and Mark for their eloquent arguments and for providing such a thorough examination of this complex question. Should all citizens be required to perform a year of public service? Sarah has passionately argued for the societal benefits of unity, personal development, and addressing community needs through mandatory service. Mark, conversely, has strongly defended individual liberty, highlighting practical challenges and the value of voluntary contributions. Both perspectives have given us considerable food for thought. The question touches upon our core values: the balance between individual freedom and collective responsibility, the role of the state, and the best way to foster an engaged and supportive society. We encourage our audience to reflect on the compelling points raised by both our speakers